Hello, Awesome Soul here, back with some interesting news, and this news will be on the most recent Dev Jam that was dropped. Dev Jam number 6, written by Mark, the lead game director on the team. And this particular Dev Jam is all about the road to beta. Yes, a beta release. I know, it's been over 3.5 years now of alpha, but they're slowly but surely making their way towards beta. And it should be relatively soon. But of course, we will get into that once I read everything out. As I always do, I will go from section to section in order. So the quick recap section is first. We've done a few dev jams now, and we've delivered a number of things that we've promised. All of these are steps on a road to leave alpha, then beta, and then finally exit early access as soon as possible in 2017. With all that in mind, I thought it would be good to recap some of our plans and where we are. So onwards to the ELO matchmaking system. Now, I'm sure if you've been watching the channel for a while, you will have heard me throw this term around, ELO. It's basically skill-based matchmaking. So if you do good, you will have a high ELO, and if you do bad, you will have a low ELO rating. So that means that high ELO players will be matched with high ELO players, aka high skilled players, and new players will be matched with new lower skilled players. And this has been in the works for a while, but hopefully it will be coming out relatively soon. So, he writes, "We are close to ELO now. We moved Elimination and the Pit into the new Brawl mode, which has proven popular, with more games played in Brawl than in the Pit and Elimination added together previously. As I kind of expected. Most of the Brawl matches are a lot of fun, although this most recent one, not exactly my cup of tea. I think it's a little bit too broad. They really need to narrow them down and make it one thing. This one is propeller planes, but also tanks as well. So I kind of wanted to just have a cool propeller plane dogfight, but no, the tanks have to come in and ruin it. But anyways, back on track. We allowed all robots to be match-made together with a new energy versus CPU system. And this, of course, is just a recap, by the way. I'm sure most of you know all these changes. These changes allow us to match-make parties properly. So basically proper 5-man platoons instead of 5 platoons versus 5 randoms, which was the old system, and it wasn't fun. I'm sure most of you remember that, though. Finally, all these changes have paved the way to a proper ELO matchmaking system. The work for ELO is underway and only a few weeks away from launching. Ooh, that's very good to hear, actually. For the first time in Robocraft history, all game modes will be match-made by a proper ELO system, so only player skill will determine the matchmaking. ELO is also one of the major foundations required for us to be able to bring you clan seasons, which is something we'd like to have in place before exiting early access. Now, from what I remember of their talk with clan seasons before, is it seems to be a replacement for the ranked battle arena, possibly making it so you gain your clan experience by going into those matches rather than just the general mismatch hodgepodge that it is now, where you can basically get experience from anything. Not necessarily a bad or a good change, it's just a different change. Now, Battle Arena 2.0. What exactly is this? He writes, also releasing in February will be Battle Arena 2.0. This is a huge overhaul of Battle Arena, improving it and making it work awesomely with teams of 5v5, which will also work sweetly with the new ELO matchmaking system. Which, yeah, that makes sense, because, you know, party system is 5, so you bring in 5, and then the other team brings in a party of 5, because it'll most likely try and match you like that. And, yeah, I can see that leading to some very, very hectic battles with everyone communicating. We'll be giving all the details on the new Battle Arena and how it's going to be improved closer to its release time. I can tell you that as part of this work, all the maps currently featured in Battle Arena will be getting massive reworks, taking lessons from our best maps in the game so far. So exciting times are ahead for sure. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. A lot of the older maps are definitely showing their age, shall we say, as far as advanced set pieces for those maps go. You really only have a bridge and a few pointy rocks. That's basically all of the non-environmental stuff. And when I say non-environmental, I mean like actually rendered and placed in, rather than just, you know, part of the normal map geometry, if that makes any sense. Not even sure if I'm using the right word there, but hopefully you understand what I'm getting at if anybody knows how Unity works, at least slightly. So yeah, as you can tell, very, very excited about the upgraded maps. Hopefully they will be as massive as they are leading on, and we're going to be seeing more things along the lines of crashed ships and big fancy dam-like structures. Only time will tell, but the base is there. All they really have to do now is add in all the fancy stuff. So that'll be pretty awesome. Hopefully they are still recognizable, but even if they did get a drastic change, it wouldn't be too bad, I guess. Because coming up, they will talk about a way to use the old maps. But I'll leave that for a little bit in the video. I do want to quickly touch on the whole 5v5 thing. I'm honestly not entirely sold on this. As cool as it will be to have, you know, party versus party, I think a lot of the fun of Battle Arena comes from the fact that there's just so many players on the field. Well, it's not a huge amount, but it's certainly a lot more than 5v5. And the maps are very, very large. Definitely a lot bigger than the TDM map rather. So it's just going to be a long stretch of nothing. And it might lead to a lot of 1v1 battles, which, I don't know. It's like, you kind of want team fights, but if everyone's kind of off trying to flank everyone else, then you're just going to have 1v1s, which I honestly don't find a lot of fun in Robocraft. I'm all about the big team fights. So I'm interested to know what you guys think of all that. Are you happy that they're reworking some of the old maps? I know I certainly am. What kind of things would you like to see reworked in there? And your thoughts on the whole 5v5 change. Now, the next section, 5 final core game modes, has some good news and it has some bad news. So the aim, he says, is to have 5 core game modes, presumably by the exit of early access, so, you know, like the full game is out. Obviously, when the full game is out, they'll still be adding things, just not massive changes. Mainly new parts, is what my guess will be. But anyways, back on track here. AI bots. Upgraded AI to allow new users to practice the core game mode Battle Arena 2.0 before going online. So they're switching over from TDM to the new Battle Arena 2.0 when it comes to the AI bot deathmatch, and I personally do like AI bots. It's very chilled, relaxed, laid back, and, you know, gives you the ability to test your bot out in a game mode where you can actually pause, which is quite nice if you're trying to multitask. Number 2 is Quick Play, which is just simply Battle Arena 2.0. Number 3 is Ranked, which is Battle Arena Leagues, improved with proper ELO and clan seasons. So that's a little interesting addition there. Is the ELO system only going to be used in Ranked? I honestly can see that being the case. It kind of does make sense, because, you know, if you want to play with a whole bunch of random people, go into Quick Play. But if you want to wait a bit longer in the queue to make sure that you get matched with people who are just as skilled, or lack thereof skill, as you are, then, yeah, go for the Ranked. So yeah, it definitely does make sense that ELO would be for Ranked only. Number 4 is Brawl. Crazy new modes, new maps, new maps. That has me very excited. I know we've gotten some in the past, which is like the Christmas map, and I honestly really liked that map, and kind of wish it stayed around. But, well, you can dream, but unfortunately. But, oh well, makes sense why it's gone. It's, you know, kind of out of place to have a massive Christmas tree in the middle of a map when it's not really Christmas. Custom game modes featured and constant variety. So yeah, it definitely does describe Brawl. So will they be updating it a lot more in the future, or is it going to stick to the what seems to be 2-week window and then they swap it out? Who knows? I honestly would like to see more variety swapped in maybe once every week. Because they have started actually asking for community feedback when it comes to Brawl modes, which is pretty cool. I've seen a lot of cruiser-based ones around wheels and all that jazz, so maybe we will be seeing a wheel mode Brawl. Who knows? And the 5th and final of the core game modes is not TDM. No, they are removing TDM. Or are they? Number 5 is custom games. Yes, the long-awaited, much-anticipated mode is finally going to be making it into the game. So the description reads, allowing you to play all classic game modes, meaning elimination, pit, possibly boss battle, but I highly doubt that. It all really depends on how far back they're talking about classic. And of course, TDM, which I will be quite happy about. All old and new maps. Does this include event maps? Hopefully it does, because like I said, I really enjoyed that Christmas map and would like to be able to play it whenever the hell I feel like. It also gives you the ability to set the rules and invite who you would like to play with. I really, really, really hope that when they say set the rules, they mean the ability to do a Brawl-esque level of customization. Hopefully it's not just super low customization. I'm really hoping for something crazy, and it's not just like, you know, set the team size, and that's it. I'm definitely hoping for a lot more. Fingers crossed on that one. So, as sad as I am to see TDM be pulled out of the roster there, I can understand why they're doing it in a way. Apparently, it's not played as much as Battle Arena, which I'm honestly surprised by. I think it's just that TDM is a lot more popular with the main core community of the game, whereas a lot of the sort of drifters, I guess you could call, the ones who are sort of in there and enjoy the game but aren't really aware that there's a huge community out there, I assume they're the ones that play Battle Arena a lot. Assuming these stats I read a little while back are still accurate and Battle Arena is still the most played. But yeah, custom games will, like I said, allow you to really play anything you want. So it's not really gone, and as I said previously, the core fan base definitely seems to like TDM. So, with custom games allowing you to invite whoever you want, you can go back and play TDM to your heart's content. Of course, we will most likely be doing a lot of custom games fun. If you looking for some friends and a good time, come join the Soul Squad. It's the Discord channel. Basically, it's a big, always-on chat room. Allows you to use text chat as well as a voice chat. So, you know, we hang out there and have a lot of fun usually. So feel free to stop on by and make some new friends, possibly. Finally, moving on to the next section, this week equals new loading flow. So this is actually an update that is most likely going to be live right now by the time you're watching this video and it's uploaded. So let's get into what was written here. Yes, even this week we'll be launching an update that moves us towards a better overall arena game experience. Up until now, players with fast loading times got into battle before those with slow loading times. Those with the slower loading times sometimes even started so late that the destruction between robots had already occurred before they even loaded in. This would mean that their clients and the server got out of sync, which led to all sorts of bugs occurring, such as invisible robots still being able to fire, etc. A new loading flow will fix these issues. Most higher quality arena games Overwatch comes to mind, has a system just like this, that focuses on fairness as a core principle. Fair matchmaking, and nobody getting an advantage over the other from loading times is an example. With that in mind, it's important that all players start the battle at the same time and have the same amount of time to prepare and decide when starting their battle. With this week's update, we'll be improving this loading flow as follows. Battles do not start until all players have loaded in. 2. New improved loading screen shows all loading progress of all players. The new loading screen also shows the loadout section for everyone in the battle. If someone fails to load in, the players are moved back to the queue and match made again. This ensures that battles do not begin with missing players. This, my friends, is something that I have wanted for quite a while. I have gotten into numerous modes where basically you start out a man down, and then that snowballs into 2 people down because somebody's like, oh, I can't win now, I need to leave because, well, we had no chance. And the last part, countdowns are just 5 seconds long for all robots, basically once they actually get into the game. So after every player has loaded in successfully, you will have 5 seconds to look around and then the match begins. But of course, this means that everyone is actually ready to start the match. Now, overall, this is definitely a good thing. The only minus here is if you had a really beast computer and you would load in all the time ahead of everyone else, then you're kind of gonna have to be bogged down a little bit. But honestly, I don't mind that at all if it means getting into a game where everyone has even teams. When this work is complete, we will start on a reconnect button, which we know is something many of you feel is really important to sorting out and improving Robocraft and its arena game experience. And yeah, this is not the first time we've heard about them possibly working on a reconnect button. So, from what I understand, it's not a simple implementation. It's going to take a long time. I assume they also have actually been working on it for a very long time. So, honestly, at this point, who knows how far away this is? They say it's going to be added soon, or at least they'll start work on it. But does that mean they're starting from scratch, or are they picking up from where they kind of left off if they've worked on it before? Who really knows at this point? But as long as we get it at some point, then it's better late than never, I guess. And of course, there are bugs being squashed as well, but I will let you guys read that for yourself. This video has definitely dragged on long enough, so if you want to read this whole thing for yourself, link is in the description. Feel free to check that out. Now, the biggest takeaway from all this is that custom games is one step closer to being a reality. At least, that's my personal favorite announcement from this, although it's not a new announcement, it's just the fact that I really want custom games, and it just means that it's getting ever so slightly closer. But what about you guys? What do you think about this, and what exactly is your favorite announcement from this Dev Jam number 6? Be sure to leave that down below, and if you like what I do here, possibly hit that subscribe button. I certainly have a lot more content like this on the way. I also do a lot of other videos on the channel, feel free to check those out. Now that the shilling is out of the way, I will go ahead and end the video here. Thank you for putting up with that. I, of course, have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.